Cowboy fans and YouTubers? Is that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you? Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below. I make these videos for me and you, and they're a little therapeutic, you know? Especially when a guy like me is running a little bit late for work, and I forgot my notes at home. So I'm gonna try to wing it for y'all. At least try to get the most out of it. If I forget anything, I'll just make a video later. First off, as people already know, Mike McCarthy has decided to give up play calling and let Kellen Moore continue to do it. And I think that's a good idea for a second-year offensive coordinator. He's going to be able to reinforce what everybody has learned and bought into last year. And they get to keep the same terminology. Apparently, Mike McCarthy said this will be the first time he's had to learn a new terminology since the 90s. And it'll be good for him. So at least he wasn't lying about adapting and changing the way he thinks. So this is definitely a good move. The inclusion of keeping Kellen Moore and Dak together is going to do wonders because we were one of the top-rated offenses in the NFL last year. Even if we didn't score as much as we wanted to, because we seem to always bog down in the red zone. But, you know, if we can keep that level of consistency with every outing, I think we'll be fine. We have reached out and look to be hiring Al Harris as an assistant secondary coach. He will be assisting on the defense. I know a lot of people were kind of upset about Leon Lett, and apparently they have reached out and are going to interview Leon Lett for a position on the defense. So that's going to bring his continuity, and it's nice to have a former player along with these young guys. The defense. People were wondering about the defense, and Mike McCarthy has said that more than likely it's going to stay a base 4-3. Now, Mike Nolan has experience in 3-4 and 4-3, and if you look at his old defenses with the 49ers, even when it was 3-4, it looked like 4-3 because you had a extra linebacker lining up on the line. So it looked like there was always 4-3 anyway. What they're going to do for our defense, because it's base 4-3, but more than likely we're in nickel 90% of the time. That's why you see Jalen Smith and either Sean Lee or Van Der Esch on the field with him all the time, because it's always the 4 down linemen. It'll be 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs instead of 4, because we always got to have that extra man running alongside somebody on the offense. So basically, any way they put it, it's going to be almost the same base defense, but with new wrinkles. Hopefully, there'll be shifting around and moving around, so you won't see exactly everything the same. And I'll get back to you because I need to take. All right, I'm back again. Yeah, as I was saying, on the defense, it's not going to be too much change, so it's just going to be trying to re-sign players, draft players, use free agency to get players. So it's not going to be too much of a stretch to change the whole alignment of the defense. When we have most of the players who already play those positions, we'll get another shot and another coach that can hopefully coach them up this time. That was our problem, is I think coaching, especially the secondary. I don't know what Chris Richard was doing, but these guys on the secondary just were not locating the ball. They were missing open tackles. They were letting the offense get behind them as a safety. It just wasn't working. So hopefully with the new coaching, things will change. That's going to definitely benefit us a lot more. We'll have to see what they come up with. And that's another thing I like about Mike McCarthy, because when he drafts, unlike Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard and the previous regime, he's going to actually draft for position. And what I mean by this is, you know how the last regime, whenever they draft, all you heard about was position flex. Oh, this guy can play guard and center. This guy can play tackle and guard. This guy can play corner and safety in a pinch. This guy can be a linebacker hybrid safety. This guy can play tackle and end. And that messed us up a lot, because you're always thinking position flex. These guys got to be a typical physical specimen to play all these positions, instead of just focusing on one position. That's how Byron Jones got messed up, because they were playing him out of position all those first 3 years of his contract by making him a safety. He wasn't a natural safety. He had the body like one, but he doesn't have the skills like one. And, you know, coming out of college, he was considered a corner. But they moved him to safety for some damn reason, and it messed him up. So Mike McCarthy and his approach to drafting is he drafts for position. If I need a guard, I'm going to get a guard. If I need a tackle, I'm going to get a tackle. If I need a nose tackle, I'm going to get a nose tackle. If I need a defensive end, safety, corner, you know. I'm not going to get a guy who's going to be, you know, out of position just because I want him to move all over the offense or defense. No. If I want a guy to be, you know, he's not trying to be like a web back who can play running back, wide receiver, tight end. No. I want you at safety, I'm going to put you at safety. That's your position. That's your natural position. That's what position I'm going to play you in. I'm not going to have you all over the defense playing other roles, you know. What would be the point? You're going to have to learn too much. It's going to bog you down. You're not going to do well running all over the place trying to play so many different positions, because you'll put yourself out of position, you know. So I like that thinking from Mike McCarthy. That's definitely an advantage that we're going to have as far as drafting. Him and Mike Nolan do like nose tackles. So if we need a 330 plus fat fire hydrant sitting in the middle of that defense, that's what they're going to get. They're not going to get some 6'6", long-armed, 280-pound tackle just because, oh, he's athletic, he can do the twist and the stunts. No. I want somebody that's going to clog that middle, run stop, and be able to take 3 guys on if he had to, and make sure there's no way that the quarterback is stepping up in the pocket. That's what you draft for. Not every defense needs one, but ours, you've seen in recent years, has been lacking that person, and that has hurt us, because we're getting gashed up the middle, and that makes no sense. You can't be getting gashed up the middle, and everybody knows it, because every time, almost every single play, Rod Marinelli, you got them doing stunts. Everybody knows this. Anybody who watches Cowboys tape can see we do stunts 95% of the time. And once you guys are twisting and stunting, they're seeing it, they're waiting for the holes, and they run right up the middle, gashing us. And there's nothing we can do, because by the time you see that, if it's play action, our linebackers get out of position, and then it's all to hell. Next thing you know, your running back is in the secondary, and our freaking safeties are the ones making tackles, if they make the tackle. And that's never good when your safeties are getting the most tackles in a game or in a season. That means they're getting passed to the second level, third level. They may not score, but they shouldn't be getting that far out away from the line of scrimmage, you know? But anyway, I digress. Still no word on Jason Witten, to my knowledge. Still no word on Sean Lee, to my knowledge. They're definitely going to take their times thinking about what's going on and what their future holds. You saw Carolina Panthers' Luke Kuechly retire at 28, I do believe. And, you know, he loves the game and everything, but he said his heart told him this was the thing to do. We don't know if it's injury-based or anything. Maybe he just saw the writing on the wall and just decided my long-term health is better than what I'm dealing with. And He's like Sean Lee, unfortunately. He's had a lot of injuries over the years. Once you start getting concussed and it's becoming more frequent, then it becomes a problem. And I think he saw that it wasn't wise to keep on doing the game. Jordan Reed for Washington, he needs to take heed to that, because you see after his last concussion, he couldn't play a single down in the season. So, it's more, I like the players, but I like your long-term health for your families more than the glitz and glamour of the NFL. Let's see, anything else? Last thing I can remember is that Mike McCarthy has said that due to the overhaul of the coaching staff and trying to get to know players and everything. By the way, he did talk to Dak Prescott, and Prescott is very excited to be working with him. And Mike McCarthy is excited to get to work with him. So we'll see how that dynamic grows over the offseason. But they're not going to be sending any coaches to the Senior Bowl this year. They got too much stuff they got to do at home, quote unquote, getting themselves ready for the offseason. So the coaching staff in its entirety will not go to the Senior Bowl, but the normal scouts will be there. And Mike McCarthy said he could learn a lot from watching film and tapes of the practices and the game, more than he can being there this time. So hopefully, with all the people coming out for the draft, it should be pretty darn easy for our scouts to recognize talent. Somebody did. I mean, you got Dak Prescott, and nobody was thinking about him until he came out and was the best quarterback in that Senior Bowl. So our scouts are definitely doing their jobs and earning their pay and their keep. They're seeing diamonds in the rough, and between them and relaying the information back to Will McClay and Stephen Jones, I hope we have another draft haul like we did in 2016. I mean, that was a great draft in recent memory. That came with a lot of starters or potential starters. So hopefully we won't have a bust. Well, I wouldn't say last season was a bust, but Tony Pollard's pretty much the only one who actually saw work. Unfortunately, Connor McGovern tore his pec, and he was not able to play this season. The rest of the guys, Tristan Hill, I don't know. Maybe he needs new coaching staff because he was not seeing the field. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. That's all I got for you right now. If anything else happens, we'll get it to you. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your weekend. In case I don't see you until next week. Kids get 3-day weekend off. I probably will too. Y'all have a good one. Peace.